Hi there. I'm going to give you a tour of my keyboards on the 2012 Level 42 Running in the Family Tour. Firstly, I'll start with the oldest and most venerable member is my Rhodes Mark1, which I bought in Argent's music store in 1982, and I believe it had been previously owned, gosh, I can't remember his name now, Brian from the Shadows, Brian Bennett. I believe that he had the piano previously. I don't know whether he commissioned, because it has a few mods on it, as you can see. It's got this parametric EQ, which is still functional and which I use quite a lot. I mean, I set it, and it just helps to kind of give me some control over the brightness and the mid. The mid's the most important thing, the mid and the bass control, because certain venues and certain situations you want more, you want less. But with level, I pretty much have it as a setting where I don't have too much bass. I roll the mid back a bit. And I used to use a lot more brightness in the early 80s, but I don't use so much now because I prefer the sound of the piano where it's not really too sort of toppy. And I got it running through a couple of effects there. I've got a chorus and a phaser, and I used to use both of those, and on certain songs I bring them in just for effect. Most of the time I use it without effects. It's just a great sounding piano. I've worked a bit on it, got under the lid. But I find as with most pianos, they're individual. When I come across the rented Rhodes, sometimes they can sound really great, and sometimes they can be like sponge pudding and really horrible to play, and each one is individual. But I found this good one in 82, and I'm hanging on to it, and it's my ex. I mean, if you look around the back of it, you can see that over the years it's got pretty much worn and torn, and I suppose at some stage I should recover it, and I probably will, but whenever I have any money, then it kind of goes on looking after the bit that counts, which is how it sounds. So on top of that, I've got Dave Smith Prophet 8, and as a long time user of the Prophet 5, there it is, I used Prophet 5 for ages, and it's a real important keyboard in Level 42. Myself and Wally Badru used it on nearly all of the records, and Dave Smith was a pioneer of the Prophet 5, and he created this, which I kind of see, and I think it's fair to say is probably a 21st century reinterpretation of the concept of the Prophet 5. It's not meant to replicate exactly what the Prophet 5 did, but it's great because it's a current keyboard, so when I go to places like Japan or the States, I can rent one, transfer the sounds over, because with the old Prophet 5 you had to do it onto cassette. Prophet 5s are hard to come by, and I don't want to fly around with mine anymore because one baggage handler too many, and that's the end of it. So it's retired gracefully in the studio. But this is great. I can get most of the sounds that I got out of the Prophet 5 pretty much, and it can do a few other things besides. It's got stereo, it's got 8 voices as opposed to 5. So it's a great keyboard, and it's analog, so it works. And then moving along onto this side, I've got a Nordley 2. It's always difficult to get them sorted out here. Right, yeah, so Nordley 2, just a basic one. It's first generation, and what I liked about it is the fact that it was very easily programmable. You can alter the sounds just with a twiddle of the knobs, and being a sort of Prophet Moog man, I really like that about it. I don't like sort of delving into menus and sub-menus, and it's got a nice kind of hybrid analog digital sound, which kind of works with a lot of the stuff we're doing. And then underneath it is a Roland RD300 SX digital piano, which I use mainly for the piano sound. I sometimes use the Rhodes sound on it, and I use the vibe sound for that bit in Running in the Family, and a few other things too. But it's one of the nicest digital pianos, I think, because it sounds nice. It's really nice to play, and it has a kind of almost a very sort of natural feeling about playing it. I've often rented RD700s, and they're very good, but they're not as nice to play for me as the RD300. And I think Gary Husband also has one of these, and when he's playing keyboards, he's a brilliant keyboard player, plays with John McLaughlin amongst others. And we did the show together, which was really nice, with Mark King in Soho at Ronnie's, both me and Gary on keyboards, and you know, we both love this keyboard, so it says something about it. So that's my setup, and then you know, we've got Mark's programmed all the backing tracks for most of the songs into the MacBook Pro, and we run that live and we play along with it. And you know, previous to that, I used to play along with Yamaha, using Yamaha sequences via MIDI, and we've got loads of keyboard parts on the record, so it's difficult to replicate them with just one keyboard player. So that's why we have it, and it's kind of nice. We get used to playing with it, and it feels like we're playing with it as opposed to, you know, it sort of dictating what we do. And there are also songs we play in the set where we don't use it, such as Chinese Way, and on this particular tour we're doing Heathrow, which we haven't played since about 1984, which is great to do. Love Games we do without sequences, so it's a good mixture. And my last keyboard, which is brand new on this tour, da-da-da. Can I get it in shot? Yeah, there we go. That is a Paolo Soprani, which I picked up in a music shop in Turkey, in Istanbul, and I was there in 2001 with Delata. I just went into the shop and saw this thing, and on a whim I bought it thinking I'll learn how to play it, I'll get a video or something. And it sat in the garage, basically, for about 9 years, and never got round to it. I was doing a big eBay session recently, and my wife was suggesting I could sort of add it to the list, and something made me hang on to it. And then when Mark suggested we do like an acoustic segment of our set on this tour, I brought it out, dusted it off, and having never played it publicly before, tonight will be my 4th show ever playing the accordion. I can't really say I'm a player, I'm more of an owner than a player, but I worked out a few basic chords, and it just adds a nice sound. It's really the sound and the atmosphere which it adds, which is nice, and it's nice to give myself a new challenge. So there you have it. That's my setup for Level 42, running the family tour 2012. Hope you enjoyed it.